The third two shows excess, too much. Some of my favorite artists, e.g. N.C. Wyeth and Howard Pyle, are famous American book illustrators, i.e. their work brings back fond memories of adventure stories from my childhood. Those are abbreviations of different Latin phrases, and they're used differently. E.g. means for example, and i.e. means that is. 12. When you feel a sneeze or cough coming on, you're supposed to turn away from others and cover your nose and mouth. I'm going to read it uncontracted. When you feel a sneeze or cough coming on, you are supposed to turn away from others and cover your nose and mouth. The first is the contraction, the second is the possessive pronoun. It might help you with my trick. You notice I was reading the contractions uncontracted. It helps you hear what that word really is. 13. Everybody has problems with this one. Last month, the dog lay beneath the table in the kitchen, right where we had laid down the new tile floor. Next week, I'm sure she will lie under the coffee table in the den, right where we are going to lay down the new carpeting. In your study guide, you'll find a chart of lie and lay. Refer to the chart to understand how to use those correctly, because those are quite confusing. If Henrique performs at his best in tomorrow's race, then he will be totally satisfied. This makes him different from many other athletes. He doesn't feel that he has to be better than anyone else. Then, the first one shows result. Different from is an idiom. Those two are used together. Better than shows comparison. Than is my comparison. 15. Today she passed the donut shop on her way to the gym, but she didn't stop. In the past, she would have stopped for a chocolate donut for sure. First one is my verb. Now let's take a look at degree. English has 3 degrees: positive, comparative, and superlative. Positive is the base form where no comparison is being made. I have a big ball. I have small portion. Comparative means two people, place, things, or ideas are being compared. This ball is bigger than that one. This portion is smaller than that one. I have 2 things. Superlative means that you have 3 or more things. This is the biggest ball of all. This is the smallest portion of all. So positive, there's no comparison. Comparative, there are 2 items. Superlative, there are 3. Now in English, some words form regular comparative and superlative, and some form irregular comparative and superlative forms. The regular is ER or more for comparative. The superlative is EST or most. You never use more and ER together. You never used most and EST together. Your general rule is use ER or EST with 2-syllable words, 1 or 2, like big-er. Use more or most with 3 or more syllable words. So you would say the most tremendous. You wouldn't say the tremendousest. And you would never, under any circumstances, say the more tremendouser. So you get ER or more for comparative, EST or most for superlative. Most of the words in English are formed that way. However, we do have some irregular comparisons. If good were regular, it'd be good, gooder, goodest, or good, more good, most good. We don't do that. We have good, better, and best. If bad were regular, it'd be bad, badder, and baddest. Not correct. We have bad, worse, and worst with a T. If you're not sure if the word is regular or irregular, look it up in the dictionary and it'll have the forms for you. So now what I would like you to do is pause the program and choose the best word for each blank from the options given. Then come back. She stood 4 foot 5 inches in the 2nd grade. By far, she was the tallest in her class. Her sister was even taller. Now, I emphasize the est. I'm using the superlative form because she is being compared to more than 3 people. She's being compared to everyone in the class. I used est rather than most because tall has 1 syllable. Remember, more and most are used with most 3 or more syllable words. Now then, I compare her to her sister. So I'm comparing 2 things. So now I have the comparative form. I'm saying taller. Number 2, it was certainly the lesser of 2 evils. I have 2 things. I'm using the comparative. It's ER. She made meatloaf well, but meatballs even better. Now I have an irregular because I'm using the word good. I've got well and I've got better. I use the irregular forms. 4, the dog's behavior was bad, but my toddler's behavior was worse. Well, bad is not being compared to anything. That's your base form. Worse, I'm using comparative. I have 2 things. I'm comparing the dog and the toddler. 5, Dan might have been the better swimmer of the 2 boys, but Frank was the best overall athlete in the entire school. Dan is better, I'm comparing 2 boys, that's my comparison, but Frank is the best overall, I'm comparing 3 or more things. Now, in English, some words have only 1 meaning. Some words have more than 1 meaning because they have different uses. In some cases, the word's meaning and its part of speech are determined by its context, how it is used in the sentence. The context can change the meaning. And as a result, you've got to pay attention to the surrounding words and phrases. For example, let's take a look at the word train. Train can be an adjective, a verb, or a noun. We went to the train station to ride the train. Well, train station, train is being used as an adjective. To ride the train, that's being used as a noun. Did you train the puppy? Well, now you're doing an action, so that's a verb. The dress had a long train, that's the fabric underneath, that is used as a noun. So, pay close attention to how the word is being used in the sentence to know exactly what it is. Who, which, and that can also be a little bit confusing, but I'll make it easy for you. Who refers to people and people only. Which refers to things and things only. That refers to both people and things, but try not to use it for people. That package comes from my aunt that lives on the West Coast. I would prefer that package comes from my aunt who lives on the West Coast. So if you remember, who for people, which for things, and that for both people and things, but try to use it mainly for things. One last note. Many students make a lot of mistakes with spelling and capitalization. It's these kinds of seemingly simple errors that can really stick out and give your readers a bad impression of your writing. We're not going to cover these issues in depth here. However, because video-aided instruction has devoted an entire program to the rules of these subjects called English Grammar, Spelling and Capitalization. I strongly recommend that you view this program if you have some problems in these areas. It is a fabulous program. But for your reference, we provided a list of commonly misspelled words in your study guide. Study these words so you can never misspell any of them in your writing. Now, you may say to me, oh, I don't have to worry about that. I have a spell checker on my computer. Yes and no. Sometimes you're going to get the wrong word, and you may not recognize it. So don't rely on your spell checker. Rely on learning the words yourself. Now what I would like you to do is pause the program and choose the correctly spelled word from the pairs of words given. Then come back. Number 1, receive, follows the I before E except after C, or is sounded as A as in neighbor and way. So it's I before E except after C, and the case here is after the C, so you flip them. So it's R-E-C-E-I-V-E. Dependent with an E, inadvertent with an E. Fulfill has one L followed by the two L's. Prerogative, dropped an R. License, C, not an S. That one's hard because of the way we pronounce it. Exercise, common mistake, using an S instead of a C. Grammar, I'm mispronouncing it purposely so you hear it rather than grammar. Judgment, people tend to add an E, there's no E there. And separate, correct spelling with two A's rather than S-E-P-E-R. So, to upgrade your writing, you have to upgrade your skills. Use these methods. Answer the question that you have been asked. Understand case. Use punctuation correctly. Distinguish between commonly confused words. Understand comparisons. Analyze sentences to determine the meaning of multiple meaning words. And learn the rules for who, which, and that. Well, we've come to the end of our program. I hope you found this instruction helpful and have learned some things that you can use to take your written communication to the next level. Thanks for watching.
Many students positively dread research paper assignments. Those hours and hours spent fruitlessly hunting for the right books and articles, squinting at screens of irrelevant search engine results, and scribbling useless notes on disorganized scraps of paper. But writing a research paper doesn't have to be such a stressful, time-consuming, and boring ordeal. Video-Aided Instructions Writing a Great Research Paper series is your step-by-step guide to constructing a paper that's technically correct, refreshingly original, and truly compelling. With this user-friendly series, you can recognize the value of true scholarship, master essential research techniques, learn the insider secrets that the best writers know, dramatically improve your writing, and keep yourself motivated, productive, and relaxed throughout the entire process. Be sure to view the complete 10 DVD series, picking an A+ topic, starting your research, finding the best sources, plagiarism and other pitfalls, taking notes, how to be persuasive, writing your first draft, quoting, citing, and paraphrasing, formatting your paper, and perfecting your final draft. Now you can successfully meet the challenge of writing a great research paper and earn a grade you can be proud of with video-aided instruction. Do you want to get your GED? Well, you're in luck. Video-aided instruction makes it easier than ever before. Our one-of-a-kind series prepares you for even the toughest questions on the 5 GED tests. Be sure to view GED Language Arts Reading, Language Arts Writing, Mathematics, Science, Social Studies, and Calculator Essentials. Let us guide you toward that all-important diploma, a better job, and of course, higher self-esteem.
When you're serious about learning an academic subject or scoring high on a test, there's just one name to know: Video-Aided Instruction. We don't waste your time with goofy skits, corny jokes, or silly sing-alongs. We get right to the point. Real teaching by real teachers. Visit us online at videoaidedinstruction.com to learn more about our exciting line of educational programs. As we say here at Video-Aided Instruction, press play to learn.